Well, hello, it's Troy coming at you from London. A lot of the game stuff that you've been taught is a load of nonsense, or at least it's less important than the emotions that you make the woman that you're interested in feel, okay? So a lot of people get obsessed with the idea of verbal game, and there have been textbooks written about this stuff. There are reams and reams and reams of archived posts and comment sections and things on the internet of people, guys, writing just the log of this stuff must be absolutely enormous. It must be like like Babel. I mean, just this incredible wealth of this material about things that you can say to women and different techniques that you can use and all that kind of stuff. Some of it's really good, okay? Some of it's really helpful. Some of it's really helped me, certainly, or it helped me in the past. But what you come to understand, and this is, I suppose, a slightly more intermediate to advanced video, because what you realize is that at some point you have to throw the training wheels off. You know? You have to take those training wheels off, and you have to go it alone. And you also have to stop using canned material. You know, you have to stop using lines that you've heard other people use online. Now, to be fair, when you initially meet somebody, you often kind of end up saying some of the same things, because the process of meeting somebody, obviously everybody's a unique and beautiful snowflake, and every woman that you meet is an individual and she's beautiful in her own right, but fundamentally the process of meeting somebody, it tends to follow the same sort of pattern. So, you will end up saying some of the same sorts of things, but the fundamental thing here is don't get hung up on, oh, I should have used this line, or oh, I should have said that, or oh, I should have, if only I'd have done that. You've got to just try and at some point cast off the shackles of all of this internet nonsense and recognize that the actual thing that's really going to make the difference here is how you make her feel. Now, James, Tusk, told a really good story the other day. We were doing a call for our private group, and he told a really good story. He said that he was with a woman that he met in Ukraine, and he afterwards asked her, why she liked him, why she'd been attracted to him or whatever. And she said that she'd been on, a number of dates, maybe 10 or 15 dates or something over the last year, okay? And of those guys, she'd slept with, I think, 3 of them, okay? And he was one of the 3. And he said, okay, so what was it with those guys that made the difference? Why were those guys, favoured versus all the other dudes who weren't? And she said, it was because with those guys, I felt something. I felt alive, okay? She felt emotion. With the other guys, she felt nothing. And so she didn't want to take it any further with them. It's a really important point. It's a really profound point, okay? And maybe you're going to get it, maybe you're not. A lot of guys don't understand this stuff because a lot of guys are stuck on the technical side of things. They're like, oh, wow, it said on page 232 of Day Game Mastery, like, oh, you've got to do this and blah, blah, blah. All of that stuff might well be true. But underlying it, if you're not making her feel something, then you're going to lose anyway, okay? How do you make her feel something? By being a fucking human being. Okay, by being a fucking rounded human being, all right? And that is something that is incredibly hard to teach, okay? This is why we've done that whole course, The Edge, all right? Trying to teach guys, because, okay, be a human being, but also be a human being that is at least somewhat fucking interesting, okay? And this, again, is a hurdle that 70% of guys fall at, because they're NPCs, frankly, and unfortunately we live in a culture that is homogenized, globalized. We all, largely consume the same media. Everybody's watching Netflix, everybody's watching the same sports, everybody's listening to the same music, buying their clothes in the same fucking stores. Everybody is becoming slowly homogenized and pushed together and like plasticine, like people lack fucking individuality. And also, let's be frank, most dudes live fucking boring lives, okay? They're doing jobs they don't like, they're living in places that they don't particularly like, they're getting 2 weeks off a year and they're going to some shitty place. They're not really living in alignment with what they actually want to do, okay? And this gets more into the existential stuff, because we're on this planet, as you know, for an extremely short period of time. And if you're not living in alignment with what you actually want, deep in your heart, deep in your soul, that's going to come through, okay? Now, one of the reasons, people always say about Tusk, okay, yeah, he's good looking, so, obviously women like him, and that's true. But equally, he's a fucking interesting guy. And he's a guy with edge, right? Why is that? Well, because he lives a fucking interesting life. okay? And we were saying on this call, it's not even that he has to necessarily tell the women that he engages with about all of the things that he's done. It's just that that's emanated through his character, okay? So the point is, what you need to be doing, and I'm not saying become a dating coach and leave your job and go and travel around the world and, whatever the hell, smuggle guns and whatever the hell he does. But the point is, you need to be leaning into risk. You need to be putting yourself out of your comfort zone. And you need to also really think fundamentally, what the fuck do I want out of this ridiculous random existence that we've all got on this planet, and try to find a way, and it may take time, it may take months, it may take years to get there, but try to find a way to live in alignment with what you actually fucking want, okay? Because until you are, then the way that you interact with other human beings, and women as well, and remember, women are incredibly intuitive. She's going to sense on some level that you're faking it, all right? She's going to know on some level. You sit down on the date, and she's like, what do you do? And you're like, yeah, I'm a chartered accountant. She's like, oh, okay. And you go, yeah, well, it's quite interesting. We've got some quite cool clients, and I get to go on some trips and stuff. And she's sitting there going, yeah, oh, okay, that's interesting. But deep down, she knows that you don't fucking like that job. She knows that you're not fucking it. She knows that, you're a man. You're built to be a fucking warrior. You're going to be out there taking over the world. She knows on some deep, primal, intuitive level that you're not the real deal. You know what I'm saying? And that's going to affect your opportunity with her. But equally, putting aside, your work and all that stuff, your lifestyle, also, you've got to trigger emotion, all right? Emotion is the key to the kingdom here, okay? It's not about being clever. It's not about being funny. The reason why people have devised those lines to be funny and to, some of the little spikes and things that people have devised to add sexual tension and stuff like that is precisely to try to spike emotion, okay? And if you don't really understand why you're saying those lines, if you don't understand what they're designed to do, they're going to come across as fake and hollow and frankly a bit weird, okay? So you need to really understand, first of all, my fundamental job here is to arouse emotion in her. Now, the best emotion to arouse, of course, is excitement and desire, but to be frank, any emotion is better than none. You make her laugh, you make her happy, you make her, you take her back to some childhood experiences and she's her mind is blown. You do future projection and you talk about all of the wonderful things you guys could do together and she feels amazing. You've got to evoke emotion, okay? And also as well, just by being an exciting character, okay? By being somebody that she can't quite pin down. This guy, I don't quite know, he's a bit unpredictable. I don't quite know what he's going to say next. He's not just this NPC boring fucker who fills in spreadsheets all day, all right? Those are the guys who are incredibly successful in dating, okay? The rest of the guys, they kind of, they can do all right. If he's good looking, he's good, whatever. He's going to get, he's going to have some success, but he's not going to really hit the stellar heights that he could have done until he becomes that man who really, really instills that emotion in her, all right? And as I say, there's no real formula for this. It's not like, oh, well, here's 6 steps to instill emotion, right? Just do those things and it's going to be great. You've got to transform as a person. And this is why people say, the whole dating thing, really, yes, it's about meeting women, but in the end, it's about you. It's actually not about the women at all. It's about you. And it's about getting your fucking life sorted. And then that emanating out from you. And the effect that has on the people around you, okay? It's incredibly powerful. I hope that this makes some sense. Drop me an email if it doesn't, troy@realtroyfrancis.com, or leave a comment below. Do subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Hit the notifications bell as well, because God knows I'm probably shadow banned to hell. If you want to get on my free email list, link below. Buy my books, link below. And if you want to get on a free call with me to discuss your own dating situation, the link is below. I'll see you guys again very soon. Bye-bye.